It's your boy Brandon back with a Vibe Coding Friday exclusive. So I've been working on this for a while, but before we even get into that, so as I said, Fridays we're going to try to highlight vibe coding apps, vibe coding people who are in the space doing it, all that kind of stuff like that, right? Every other day of the week, we're really just hardcore talking about voice AI, specifically with retail. But Fridays, I like to mix it up and dig in a little bit with some of the vibe coding because this actually dovetails into agency work and things like that, being able to vibe code sometimes your own solutions. Now in this one specifically, I created a app called Review Culture. I'm still in process. It's about 90-95% of the way there, but essentially what it is there's this deal reputation management where agencies such as myself and others work with local businesses to help them get more Google reviews. With that said, generally speaking, is usually the tired and old played out, a little blank white screen or some pale screen with a generic, message like, give me a review with, black and white text or whatever the case may be, right? For me, what you'll understand is for me, user experience is huge. Whether it is me giving a service, whether it's me receiving a service, whether it's me coding an app, is really where I focus on a lot. Because you can actually have a crappy you can have a crappy product, but amazing customer service, and people will overlook it. I'm not saying you should, but what I'm saying is it matters. So let's dig in here without taking too much more time. Let me jump over here. So yes, Review Culture is the app. Specifically, is what it's called, specifically for agencies. And as of right now, it is invite only. So let's go ahead and dig in so I can just give you an idea, a quick rundown of kind of what it can do. So like I said, it's invite only. Once you get the invite, you can then come in, log in and set up your own account. And I've already set up a few here, but just to not prolong this is your agency dashboard. So as an agency, when you log in, you're going to first land on this dashboard. Yours will probably be empty, obviously, because you won't have any clients set up. So first things first, we want to set up a client. We're going to hit add new client. It's going to take us to the screen here. On this screen, you can literally type in the business name and then you'll hit search and it will search Google Places API for that business. So you can select exactly that business. Let's just say Chinese. I don't care. Just find a Chinese restaurant or something, right? Boom. Okay. So it's showing me a bunch of different Chinese restaurants all over the country, right? We'll just select the top one, Future House Chinese Cuisine, which you can see they have 4 stars. Boom. Fortune House Chinese Cuisine. And then what you can do is in branding, which is optional, you don't have to do it. You can put in a logo URL, which basically is going to be, if you have a URL to the logo, you can add it here. And then on the app itself, it'll display the logo as opposed to just the text of the name. Or you can hit upload. And then this will allow you to select the logo on your local machine, which will then save here. And you can do that. Primary colors and accent colors on the actual app. When you look at the review screen, you're going to see like some background colors and things like that. You can select these and these will be kind of some of the accent and hues and colors that you'll see instead of, whatever, which you can use that to help align the visual more with the brand of the company you're working with. Theme, you can have a dark theme or a light theme. Dark theme is going to be a dark background, similar to what we have here. Light theme is going to be more of a white, off-white type color. Because of course, depending on the business, you might want a light or a dark theme. You have templates, which is modern, which is the one, which is the default. Minimal, which is kind of more slimmed down, not as much text and everything. And then showcase, which is supposed to be a little more robust and things like that. These templates will be getting tweaked over time, I guess. Like modern, I think is pretty good. We're good there. Minimal and showcase will probably be getting tweaked a bit more just because I don't really use them as much. So I'll definitely be garnering feedback for that. So click create review funnel. Boom. Now it's created. And then you see here, we have our actual link. So if I were to just hit the button here to go out to the link, I'm sorry, I had to share the screen. Boom. Now we have Fortune House Chinese Cuisine. You have the address here. And then it's like, hey, give me your experience, right? So let me just say it's 1 star, right? So now there's 2 things they can do actually, right? You see they have the 1 star. Thank you for the feedback. And then they can hit Google us on review. The one reason this is big is because what happens is a lot of business owners and agencies get in trouble because they do gatekeeping, meaning if it's 1 star, they'll automatically send them to some type of questionnaire, and then they'll forward that to the business. I mean, forward that to the business or the agency, and not allow the client to actually leave a review. Now, technically speaking, I guess you could kind of get away with it, but the biggest deal is I don't want to get the agency in trouble, and I personally, as a business owner, wouldn't want to get in trouble by gatekeeping. But the one thing is they can still tell us more, right? So they can still click that and give us more information about the review and send it to us privately. Anywho, if you click on give us a Google review, then what it's going to do is it's going to take you here. We can still go to them and leave a review, right? So it takes us directly there. So now you as an agency, you don't have to go out and like find their their place ID and all that kind of stuff. It'll do it. It'll build the link and all that for you. And then they can leave the review, right? So let's jump back over to the app. So if we go back to the dashboard, now we have the Fortune House Chinese cuisine here. We have a few more options, right? We can copy the link that we just copied or that we just had. We can hit the deal here to get the QR code. So if you're especially a service business, you're going to want to leverage a QR code instead, which then you send to people so they can leave reviews or whatever the case may be. Which, mind you, let's give me a second here. Let's just test it out. Let's just test it out with my phone here. Boom, boom. And I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if you can see this. Boom, it pops up on my phone here with the QR code, right? So that just tells us, boom, it works. You know what I mean? All good. Cool. All right, bet. So we have this again. This is just to go out to the link, right? And this is good because if you're a business, you set them up, you want to review it to make sure it looks right. And then you can actually cut it on and off. We have this button here where if we click it, it deactivates it. So the link no longer works. So if we were to go back to the link, you'll see, oops, it's not valid, right? So if we activate it again and then go back to the link, you see it's valid. So that's a way to control it from your agency's perspective. If you want to cut people on and off and things like that without actually having to delete them. Then you can go to the settings here, which if you go here, you see the business information, their address, all that kind of stuff. And this helps big time for businesses that have multiple locations. Again, you can charge per location, but now you can come in here and set up each location to have its own individual URL link or whatever, and don't have to worry about mixing and matching and getting them confused because you can actually see it. Business name. This actually, you can change this, but it will not update the Google business profile. It'll only update what you see on your dashboard for as far as the business name is concerned. We have an upload where you can upload the image you want to use for the review or URL, which if you do that, then instead of it using this big text up here, it will use the logo instead, right? So that's why that's helpful and why it works. If the Google Place ID, it is editable because sometimes the Google Place ID, maybe they have multiple Google business profiles. So the one that you picked was the wrong one or whatever. You can actually update it here. Generally speaking, I wouldn't touch it because it should be right. But it is there if you need to maybe force it or whatever the case may be. Again, we can update the accent colors. Matter of fact, let's change this to light theme so you can get an idea what it looks like when it's light theme. So we're going to hit save and we're going to go back to the link and then boom, now you see it's light themed, right? So as you see, light, dark theme, etc. Okay. And then you have your templates here. You have email notifications, which is basically if you're the agency or the business or whatever, you can get an email whenever there's new feedback given. Most people probably won't use it, but it's there. And then you have the review link right here, which, we can go see it. Again, it just lets you take it out there, right? So that's that. Okay. And then of course, if you want to delete them, you can delete them. Danger zone, don't do it, but it's there if you need it. Let's jump back to the dashboard. And then as an agency, you can see the total number of clients, your active funnels, total number of reviews for all these people, and the total feedback. All right, cool. So as an agency, also you have domains. So you can come here to the domains and set up your own custom domain as an agency. So now you can white label it, basically is what that is, right? You have an embed. So you can take this embed code, generate, and then you can embed it as an iframe. So now you can actually deal with your clients and whatnot in a different form. So let's say you wanted to be able to create, edit, modify, etc., but didn't want to have to go to the app. Then you can take that embed code, drop it in something like GHL or some other iframe, whatever, and edit them through there. There is a unique token and link and all that stuff in there, so it is specific to your business. So you can actually do all that there, right? So see, there you go. These are things that we have to tweak. Right here is one won't fail to revoke session. So either way, it's not 100% of the way there, but we're extremely close to for me being able to do more robust testing with real live people. Anywho, again, add client button will take you there, so you can add a client. And then we have the agency settings. So if you come to agency settings, you can change your agency name, the contact person, the email for the agency. You have subscription. Granted, I'm a founder, so mine is going to be free lifetime access. You can change your passwords here. Also for subscription, if you do have one, like, a Stripe subscription or whatever, this is where you'll manage it at. So yeah, that is really the app in a nutshell. It's nothing like too crazy, I guess, but I think it is pretty dope. If you want access and you're an actual agency, you don't have to be big. You can have one client, two clients. I don't care. Let me know. You can email admin@leadculture.io, or your other option is that you can actually just go to the homepage, right? The homepage, which is reviewculture.io or reviewculture.com. I'm sorry, reviewculture.com, right? And you can hit get started. Hit get started and then fill out your information, request access. It'll come to me. And then after that point, I'll review it, probably reach out to you just to get an idea of where you're at, what you're trying to do, etc. And then also to help you out with like a general walk through the app and how it works and whatnot. And we can get you onboarded, get you set up, and all that kind of good jazz. All right. So hopefully this was pretty dope. And for those of you out there who are trying to vibe code and really get into it, it's things like this that are very, very doable for you. You just got to have a little imagination and a little bit of creativity and, be somebody who's eager to learn and probably research a bit as well. Everything in here, I did not know immediately off jump, but I know what I wanted it to do. So then I was able to research, and I would say researching first before vibe coding is best. So that way, you know the direction you want to go, you know the function you want, you know what it's supposed to do, and then you can build out the features accordingly. All right. So, anywho, reviewculture.com. If you want access, if you're an agency, hit me up as well. Admin@leadculture.io, or you can hit me up on Facebook. Brandon Boyd should be on Facebook as well. I'll definitely hook you up there. Beyond that, check out the school community, school.leadculture.io. You can go there to get access to the school community, where we're going to talk a lot about voice AI, setting up voice AI agents, how to sell them, how to manage them, all that kind of stuff. And then of course, as well, in the community, there'll be a vibe coding section or academy in the community where we're going to do things like this, where we'll talk a lot more about it. I'll even bring in people like my boy Ty. He's coding like this crazy Facebook CRM to manage your leads through Facebook, and things like that, where we'll talk about more vibe coding projects, how to use them, how to create them, best practice, all that kind of stuff, right? So it's a lot being packed into that community. It's a free community, so jump in. Again, school.leadculture.io if you want that. If you want access to this app specifically, it is going to be reviewculture.com. All right. Y'all take it easy. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Peace.